Hi, this is Yvonne, and it's Lineman Appreciation Month. And I have here with me Sharon Bach, who is from Inter-County Agency here, RECC, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what linemen do.
Well, the most important thing that our linemen do is keep your power on, obviously. When it storms or when there's just oddities that cause your power to be out, they are immediately called. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, ice. They put their lives at risk in order for people to have their power. A lot of people don't understand kind of the order that they have to go in when their power goes out. They think power's out, they come out, they do something and get my power back on. During a major outage, if a substation is down, obviously they can't come to your house and turn your power back on because they have to get the substation back on first. Then it kind of trickles down from there. They have main lines and then they have taps that go to people's homes. So there is kind of a pattern to it, and sometimes it does take longer because they have to start at point A before they get to point Z, basically, to get the power on.
Now, what is your area here in the Marion County area?
We serve the outline area of city limits. We actually have a little bit in the city limits, but mostly your rural communities. The boundaries that were set up when electricity first started are still in effect today. They are not county boundaries. People don't understand. They think if it's a county line or city line, that's where it is. It's not, because these boundaries between the utilities were set up in some cases before county boundaries were set up. So that's why it is different. We service about 5,000 customers just in my office's area. But we do have Marion, we have some in Washington, we have some in Taylor, some in LaRue, and some in Nelson as well. So we serve over their borders. And so there we have customers that are, even an hour away from Lebanon.
Wow. That far out?
Yes. Okay.
How many linemen do we have approximately here in this area?
In our area, we have 5. That is a crew of a foreman and 3 linemen underneath of him. And then we also have a serviceman, and that's Larry Wheatley, and I think everybody in Marion County knows him. So they have different duties. Our serviceman basically does anything that can be done by one person. He does all of your security lights usually. He takes care of meter changes. Sometimes he can take care of outages on his own, just depends on what caused it. And then you have the crew who builds your lines. They retire lines, build new lines, and then when it's an outage, everybody works together.
Yeah. Now, if I was going to call in, if my power was out, I'd call in and say, I have no power. What would be the steps that would start? How would that start?
We now have what is called an OMS system, which is an outage management system. We have a company, we call them CRC. That's one of our toll-free numbers. They can answer an abundance of calls all at one time, where we just have 2 lines coming in our office and a limited amount of lines coming into our Danville office. But this OMS system, if people call in on that toll-free line and they do the automated or they talk to a person, it goes into our system and immediately comes up on a screen in our Danville office. So as soon as an outage is reported, they're aware of it, and first thing they do is contact the serviceman who is over that area. He would go out, try to find out what's caused the outage, and then he'll call in if he needs help to get it back on. It could be, we have a lot of trees, that we can't control. We can't control Mother Nature, lightning. You would be surprised at the number of animals that actually cause outages. Wow. And I'm talking about snakes, cats, birds, raccoons, anything that can get up a pole into that equipment can cause an outage.
Yeah. Oh, so it's very vulnerable.
Yes. And I know a lot of people will call in because their lights blink, where they just go off just long enough to mess up your microwave and your clocks and things like that. And actually, if your line blinks, that means that a piece of equipment on the line is actually doing its job and not letting your power go out completely. So even though it's a hassle, it's keeping your power on. Otherwise, that could be out. Now, sometimes if it keeps blinking and keeps blinking, it could be a tree or something like that we need to tend to. But that occasional blink we cannot control. We don't like it any more than anybody else does, and they do try to find the problem, but sometimes the problem will fix itself. So, but we welcome anyone calling anytime there's an issue with their power.
Okay, what number can they reach you on?
Our local office number is 270-692-3761, and that will get someone in the office from 8 to 5. Our Lebanon office no longer closes for lunch. We're there for the entire day. The toll-free number for outage is 1-866-224-2235. And then if you need someone in our Danville office, you can call their toll-free number, and that's 888-266-7322.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for all the wonderful
Yes,
information.
ma'am.
And we'd like to thank those guys out there who are linemen, who take care of our people here in Marion and Washington County, all around Taylor County, some of that too.
Yes.
So they do an excellent job.
Yes.
And we want to thank them for that. And then, Sharon, I know that, well, we both know it's springtime, and it's time to dust off those shoes and hit the road and start running again.
Yes, well, actually, the group that I run with, we run all winter. Rain, snow, it doesn't matter. We're out there about every morning.
Every morning out there running. Well, I know that the Boston Marathon's coming up. But
yes,
I know
it's actually today.
Is it today?
Yes, it is today.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take you back a little bit for the LA Marathon,
yes,
the one that you ran
in 2015.
Yes. First of all, how do you get in shape to run a marathon?
Well, you have to get your mindset first, because training runs are long and hard, and your mind will tell your body to quit way before your body cannot tolerate it. Your body's stronger than your mind thinks it is.
Yes.
But you have to do a lot of cross training, strength training, so that you're not injured, and then find a good training plan, which is basically when to start training and how many miles to bump it up each week, how many miles you should be running each week, so you're not injured. You don't want to just go from running 5 miles to 10. There's hundreds of training plans out there. You just have to kind of find one that suits you and your time schedule.
Now, I know a lot of people think that you just get up, you decide you want to be in the Boston Marathon or the LA Marathon, and you just go sign up for it and run. But you have to qualify.
For the Boston Marathon, you do have to qualify because it is actually the biggest marathon, I guess, in the world as far as competition. Those people are fast.
Yeah.
So there's a qualifying time that you have to meet in order to do that, and I'm not in any way, form, or fashion that fast. I have no desire to do that. I would like to run another marathon, but I'm not into trying to get faster, but I give props to those people because they might run 10, 15 marathons before they qualify.
Wow, that's a lot of miles.
Yes, it is. Yes,
that's a lot of miles. And I know too that with that and with all that training that you go through, it takes a toll on the body. So you got to be really careful.
It does.
What you do.
You have to eat healthy. That is probably the #1 priority, is eating healthy and drinking a lot of water. You have to stay hydrated.
Yeah. Okay. And also, these races are not free.
No, they're not. And they can be marathons, half marathons. They're pretty expensive, but as far as I have seen, almost every run that's out there, that money goes to a charity. Some of the money goes to help actually put the event on. It can be costly to put them on, but because you have shirts to pay for, medals to pay for, that type of thing. But the rest of the money is donated to some type of charity. So I kind of get to do what I like to do, and then I feel good about where the money's going.
Yeah, I know that you did a race a couple of years ago yourself, where you were behind it, putting it all together.
Yes, I did start for 2 years. I did the Turtle Man Trek, and then Independence Dave was gracious enough to take that over, Kentucky Cooperage, and as their sponsor. Of course, I don't have a baseball player anymore, so I'm not in that setting it up as it goes. But it's a great course and a great race, and there is a lot to putting that on. It's a lot of work.
Okay. What would you say to our viewers out there, somebody who's thinking about maybe starting to run? What are some things they should get straight first before they get started?
The first thing would be to get in the habit of drinking a lot of water through the day. It is hard to do, to get enough water. Eat healthy, eat a lot of protein, there's so many, it's not a diet, but there's so many plans out there that you could choose, but as long as you're eating healthy, not a lot of fats, not a lot of processed foods, because you want to be healthy when you run. And then I would get a Couch to 5K app. I've had a lot of friends that have had success with those. There's a ton of them out there. Just get on your phone and it tells you when to walk and when to run, and slowly build you up to running that first 5K, and that's where I would start.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, and we really appreciate you coming out today, talking to us about the Lineman Appreciation Day as well as running.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best of luck this year. Are you going to run any marathons this year?
Actually, I'm helping a friend train for the Monumental in November, and she is trying to qualify for Boston. So if things go well, I may run that with her. I'm just kind of keeping my fingers crossed at this point. And then, who knows, I race all year round, 5Ks. Sometimes 3-4 a month, so I just enjoy doing that, and I'll be running all year.
All right. Well, listen, promise me you'll come back and talk to us about it then.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
All right then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has been Yvonne McNary for Central Kentucky Television.